Okay, today we're going to talk about bumps. More specifically, texture. And that comes out of the spray gun, and it's dependent on how big or small the droplets that come out of the tip of the gun are. So when we're spraying down like this, as the spray hits the surface, it's in little droplets like this. If they're bigger, when they flatten out, they still leave a little texture. So you got a little bumpiness like that if they don't flow out smooth enough. On a flat panel like this, you can control that with a slower evaporating reducer. But now, if we go to a vertical panel, and we use a slower reducer to flow out the bumps, the texture, gravity takes place. So as these flow out, they elongate, and if too many of them get together, then you get a run. So the reason Tom and I thought we should explain a little more about why I use the Sharp 775 with this good air cap for breaking up the spray, and do a little more explaining why this happened. Okay, on vertical surfaces, we're going to get this spray in here. I kicked up the pressure a little bit, and I over-reduced the material slightly. Now I got smaller droplets, and they contain less material, so when they flow out a little flatter, and the air pressure is blasting them on. A little more reducer, a little more air pressure does that, but it also produces more overspray. HVLPs are fine, but it's harder to control that finer texture with an HVLP. It can be done. I'm probably not the best. I haven't used a lot of HVLP. One of the better ones I did use was a Matson, and so I used what I got. And for single stage paints, I over-reduce, use this Sharp, and kick the pressure up a little more. Then I want to have that good pattern when I'm spraying that's kind of even like this. And you can spray this on a test panel and see if it's nice and even. Let it sit for a second and see if it starts to run in here. If you hold the gun there, pull the trigger for 1 second, back away, watch it. If it starts to sag a little bit, then you're probably pretty good, because when you're actually going to spray, you're going to be moving across the panel at pretty good speed. If you're not getting the wet out, you slow your speed up a little bit, or move in just a teeny weeny bit. But as you move in, you're going to decrease the size of this. So try and get the gun set before you spray for the optimum pattern that you can get and have even material all the way along here. And then consider over-reducing slightly, kicking the pressure up to get the vertical panels as smooth as possible. If you're going to cut and buff, then it's not a big deal. But make sure you put on more than 2 coats, probably 3 or 4, to get enough material on to cut or buff, or plan on cutting it and then clearing it and then cut and buff to clear.